back to my channel. Welcome back to another video from me. I'm ELKA and I am a movement therapist, and with these videos I really want to show you how to move better and live better too. So today's video is all about the hip flexors. I'm going to show you how to strengthen your hip flexors whilst training your lower body. So you can work these exercises into your routine and they will really help with back pain, tight hips, anything you kind of struggle with movement wise within the hinge joint, and really help you to strengthen those little muscles around and in the hip. I was diagnosed with bursitis in my hips, and it kind of happened from my training in dance. So one day we were asked to go into the splits, which I did, and then my dance teacher came over and pushed my back down to the floor, and I just felt something crunch and nothing kind of felt right from then on. It took me a couple years to notice there was like anything wrong. I kind of thought it was just something that happened to dancers, and I always was in excruciating pain when I stood up for long periods of time, when I wore heels, and any jumping or impact onto my hips, because that kind of really flared the bursitis up. So bursitis is where your bursas flare up and it causes so much pain. So this is what kept happening to me, and for years I had no idea what was happening. It was so frustrating because even in my jobs when I was working in retail and waitressing, I would come home and my legs and my hips would be in absolute agony. So as a PT, I decided to kind of look more into this and why this was happening. And basically, I quickly learned that strengthening the hip flexor muscles rather than stretching out those muscles was going to really help the shock absorbent bursas in between those joints. So that brings me to now. So I have been working on my hip flexor strength for the past few years, and oh my gosh, I don't get any pain anymore. I'm more than mobile in both hips, and it's saved me a lot on surgeries, on any form of like cortisol injections, anything like that. I just don't need that anymore because I don't have any pain with them. So I wanted to share a couple of exercises with you that I work into my routine, and this has helped me strengthen my hip flexors throughout the past few years. Okay, so on to the first exercise. So for the first exercise, I always perform a balancing exercise, as this really helps to switch on the central nervous system, getting you ready for your workout. So I love to level up this exercise by throwing in some coordination. So raising a weight above your head and trying to throw off your balance whilst coordinating is a great way to test your central nervous system. Next, we move on to some hip stability. Now you want to make sure that everything is in right angles and sinking well and truly into that hip. On to your first strengthening exercise. Now I love this exercise because you can really play with it. So making sure that you can push up on the way up and then slow it down on the eccentric. Now isolating your hip muscle by turning the foot into the opposite side, I want you to grab a block and lift your leg all the way over the top. Be sure not to use your quad, just your hip flexor. Again, start by turning your foot into the opposite foot. Add a weight on the end of your foot and gently lift up and down, keeping the hips square to the front, so that you are isolating the hip flexor and again not using that quad. So I hope that helped with your training and even programming to help your hips a little bit. As I said, I've been doing this for years. Do not give up this practice. Keep going with it. And both myself and my clients really noticed a quick change from living in pain to living pain-free. I do advise to do these exercises at least once a week, and especially rolling out pretty much daily, especially if you do have really tight hip flexors. This just helps to loosen everything up. So what I would do is roll out first, do your exercises, and then stretch. For more pain relief videos, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you come back for next week's movement therapy video.